Yo, what is good everyone? OJ over here from PlayerEssence and welcome to my Nintendo Switch and Gaming News Village, PE Ninjas. Today we've got a bunch of great information in addition to some beginning sales in the UK for the Nintendo Switch. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here. So a number of Nintendo Switch users are reporting issues with weak Wi-Fi signals. I've actually had a couple of my users actually point this out to me on Twitter and other various forms of social media, and it seems like some Nintendo Switches are maybe not as good or compatible with certain routers. I'm not really sure. I've been playing my Nintendo Switch via Wi-Fi for like the first 2 days, then I switched over to a wired connection, and I didn't have any problems actually downloading a massive file, which was Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 as far as the demo, the Japanese demo that you can access region free with the Nintendo Switch. But yeah, I had no issue downloading that and no issue setting it up with Wi-Fi at all. So I'm not really sure what's going on. It does seem to be a smaller amount than a bigger amount of users out there, but it's still an issue nonetheless. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Nintendo hasn't issued any type of statement on the matter, and there has been some issues with the desync, of course, the Joy-Con, the left Joy-Con having some issues that I was actually able to finally replicate after moving all the way back to the back of my room, covering up a little bit and not having a direct line of sight to the Nintendo Switch. But that was like really far back. I moved everything back to the point to where I actually had to move stuff out of the way and then stand all the way back and up against the wall for me to replicate that. So you do need to stand a little bit closer to your Nintendo Switch if you're having any type of desync or issues connecting with the left Joy-Con. But the Pro Controller works absolutely fine, and the Joy-Cons worked just fine as soon as I got in my normal range that I usually sit at. But either way, there are some issues here and there, which happens with new hardware. We've seen it all the time whenever it comes to PS4, Xbox One. Xbox 360 was probably the most notorious. So hopefully Nintendo can get these issues sorted out and help users who are being affected. Alright, moving on to the next article here. So the Nintendo Switch utilizes NetFront Browser NX for its current browsing features. So this is the same browser that's on the Nintendo 3DS, the Nintendo 3DS XL, Wii U, Nintendo 2DS, new Nintendo 3DS, and new Nintendo 3DS XL. It's currently being used on the Nintendo Switch for Nintendo account-related features, Nintendo eShop, upload of screenshots on social media, and more. Features ultra low levels of memory usage, supports all the latest web technology such as HTML5, CSS3, Gamepad API, WebP, WebSocket, and HTTP cache. Thanks to the proprietary expansion spatial navigation technology, users get smooth movement when using the arrow key. So the Nintendo Switch does have a web browser built in. Nintendo just has not activated an actual app to use it. I definitely think that is coming down the line, and there's actually even workarounds that you can find on the internet. Just search it, trust me, they're there. But yeah, Nintendo's going to add it. They're going to add some of the apps and other features. I just really think Nintendo wanted to focus on making sure everything worked basically with the Nintendo Switch when it came to the eShop, when it came to actually downloading games, when it came to actually playing games, which there were still some issues here and there which they've been trying to address. So I think it's good that they didn't just dump everything on there at once. We'll get the features added in probably slowly, and we can actually look forward to system updates, like I said before, instead of stability patch after stability patch after stability patch, because I am fairly certain that Nintendo planned to not do any type of upgrades or features to the Nintendo Wii U. I think they were just going to leave it as is. That's why there was so much packed on there on day one. Whereas with the Nintendo Switch, I do think we're going to get steady updates until the system actually has everything, like the record gameplay feature, like a web browser, like some social media apps here and there that aren't already included within the game as far as posting screenshots, which is Twitter and Facebook. So I think all that's coming, just need to be a little bit more patient, and of course Nintendo needs to make sure that they iron out some of the issues that they're already having. But the web browser is already there and good to go. Pretty much Nintendo just needs to unlock it so users can use it normally and not have to go through crazy workarounds. Alright, and moving on here, GameXplain has explained how the Nintendo Switch does support USB keyboard, so you can pretty much plug in and play any of the different types of USB keyboards that you do have, and you'll be able to use that to basically write messages when you're posting on Twitter or on Facebook. You can't send messages to other people yet at this point. Pretty sure it's coming once again in an update, in addition to their smartphone app thing. But yeah, you can pretty much use it just pretty much for posting on Twitter and Facebook as far as your screenshots. And that's funny because that's a feature that's surprisingly addictive to just snap something as far as a screenshot goes and upload it to Twitter or to Facebook. I've been using that way more than I thought I would, just because Breath of the Wild, I think when you have an amazing game and you want to share something, to me where that isn't like super spoilers, because I've seen people just share ridiculous spoilers already, but for me, I think it's pretty cool just to kind of just put out little things out there, especially if you have a following on social media or if like a YouTube personality or whatever the case is. It's just cool to let people know kind of like what you're doing in the game, what's going on and things like that. And I think it's going to be really cool, especially when Nintendo actually fills out the lineup with more games such as like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, of course, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon, ARMS. All of those games are going to be fun to do that, plus the record game feature. Don't know how much I'm going to use that because I actually have my Nintendo Switch hooked up to a capture card at all times to capture any footage I want, but at the same time, it's still cool for those who don't have a capture card and who just want to post quick gameplay snippets, probably quickly to YouTube or something like that. So let me know what you guys think about USB keyboard support in the comment section below. All right, moving on here. We got a lot of news, guys. Dragon Quest XI has more story details. So these story details were translated by Gamatsu. Quote, as a reincarnation of the legendary hero, the protagonist sets off on a journey through a vast world. The protagonist, who grew up in a calm village of Ishi, turned 16 years old and took part in a coming-of-age ceremony as a village custom. As the reincarnation of the hero that once saved the world, he understands that he is burdened with a great mission. To learn about the hero and the hero's mission, he set off on a journey from his hometown. The destination, the continent's biggest country, Delkadar, specifically the king. Based on his mother's words that he will be revealed should he go to the Delkadar, the protagonist in due course heads for the king. The protagonist informs the king of the Delkadar and that he is the hero, and the king begins to tell him what the hero means. And then the hero is called the child of the devil. What the king of Delkadar said was unbelievable. He said that the hero is the child of the devil. In response to the king's words, the shoulders surround the protagonist with their sword pointed at him. What is the meaning of all this? The story of the legendary hero starts off with a bang. What is the fate of the protagonist? The story of a hero begins now. So this is freaking interesting. I actually got more excited now that we know a little bit more about the story. That's really going to be pretty cool to see how it actually plays out. I love the whole outcast type of thing, and it seems like he's going to be on the run, fugitive type of thing, and that seems like that's going to be pretty interesting for a JRPG plotline. It's been done before, but I want to see it done in the Dragon Quest franchise, because usually you are just like the hero out to save the world, but this time it seems like maybe you do have a bigger purpose. You are the hero, but nobody else sees that as far as the other villagers, town folks, kings, all that stuff. So pretty cool stuff there. Let me know what you guys think about these story details in the comment section below. And lastly, we have some initial report sales for the UK and actually the Nintendo Switch, depending on who you talk to. So week 1 sales, which was actually 3 days, hit 80K in the UK. So the Nintendo Switch sold 80K within its first 48 hours on sale in the UK. MCV understands. To put it into context, that's double the 40K of the Wii U managed during its opening during the holiday season, but below the 113K shifted by the Nintendo 3DS in the same period. For further context, the Wii sold around 105K in its opening weekend, the Xbox One managed 150K, and the PS4 managed 250K. To what extent the Switch's numbers were limited by stock levels is unclear. Certainly some retailers are sold out, although the machine is still available from some online stores and can be found on the high street, albeit patchily. So one of the things here that I definitely want to say about this is that the UK is not Nintendo's bread and butter. Obviously that's the US and it's the Japanese market. Nintendo's shine has been fading in the UK since the Wii days. I mean, even with the Wii being a massive success everywhere, it only did 105K in the UK back when it came out in 2006, which was well under the PS4's. Even the most successful console that we've seen since the PS2, even that didn't reach really high numbers in the UK, just because the UK has always been more of a PlayStation territory, Xbox territory, but definitely PS4 at this point. So I can understand the numbers being low to some, but if you look at it in another light, you look at it when it comes to the Wii U, pretty much doubled up on sales there. If Nintendo doubles up in every region, they're going to be well off. I doubt that they will, but they could. Who knows? I mean, who really does know as far as the sales go? They could sell that much, 600,000 or however much. They could double up based on the United States and based on Japan and all that. We just have to wait and see on that one. But I do think anything that is a positive momentum over the Wii U is definitely good. That is definitely a good sign because 40K was really low in the UK and it doubled up on there in 3 days worth of sales, and not even in the holiday season. Obviously, if this was holiday season, it would have been more than that, but it's March. So I think that's not bad starting out, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see where the numbers are when it comes to Japan and when it comes to North America, because that's really Nintendo's bread and butter. Particularly the United States is where Nintendo's really going to be their big market. In addition to Japan, that's also a huge market. Definitely looking forward to seeing what Japan and the United States has to say on the matter, but doubling up on the Wii U is definitely good, and about 25,000 less than the Wii in a non-holiday season. That's not bad in my opinion. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you ninjas for the next video. Peace!